Okay guys, so here we are going to go over the final review, the final exam review. So here, the first one, let's look at it, okay? The table below represents how many bottles of water Sarah drank each day. What is the total amount of water that Sarah drank during the school week? Now, I was talking about the school week. If we think about the school week, that's just Monday through Friday. So all we're going to look at is this, okay? So here, we can change these into decimals. So I would actually change this to 6.25. And I would change this one into 5.3 because that's 5 3/10. And I'm going to add those numbers, okay? So here, 6.25 plus 4.26 plus 3.25. Okay, I'm going to do 3 at a time. So 16 here, 7 here, 10, 13, 76. Okay, so now I'm going to take 13 and 76 hundredths and I'm going to add, I've already used this one, and this one. Let's go ahead and use the last two that are left. 5 3/10 plus 5 6/10. Okay, or 60 hundredths. Okay, so let's move on. So 6 here, 6, or hold on, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 6 is going to be 16, 10, 13, 14, and then 2. So here I'm just going to put the decimal down right here. Now this answer, if we look back at our question, it is saying how many bottles of water is what this is showing. So she drank about 25 bottles, okay? Let's just say 24.66 bottles, okay? In total for the week, school week. Okay, let's look at number 2. The ratio of cats to dogs in the animal shelter is 25 to 10. If there are 250 dogs at the shelter, how many cats are there? Y'all, I'm laughing. 7th period, laugh with me. Remember what I did in class. Okay, so here, let's move forward. So here, 25 to 10. So let's set up a proportion, okay? Now here I have cats to dogs. This is going to be cats, this is dogs. So there is 25 cats, there is 10 dogs. And then it says if there are 250 dogs, so 250 goes down here and x goes up here. Now I'm going to cross multiply. So 10x equals 25 times 250. So if I do 250 times 25, 25 here, 10, 11, 12, 10, 4, 5. So that would be 6,250. Now I'm going to divide by 10, divide by 10. And here, that is going to be 625 cats. Okay. All right. So here, my final answer is going to be 625 cats. If you got that, great job. Okay. Rochelle needs to purchase cookies and bread for the month. A package of cookies costs $4.25 and a loaf of bread costs $3.56. If she paid 7% sales tax, what was the amount of tax that she paid for all of the items? Okay, so this is only asking for sales tax amount. It's not asking for the total, okay? So here, what I want to do first is I want to add up to the two things that she bought, which is going to be $4.25 plus $3.56. That's going to be 11 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, $7.81. Okay, that's how much she spent. So now I'm going to take that amount, the subtotal, and I'm going to multiply it by the decimal of 7%, which is going to be 0.07. Because remember, what we do is we take that decimal and move it over twice, add a 0 there. Okay, so here, times 0.07, 7 times 1 is 7. 8 times 7 is going to be 56. 7 times 7 is 49. Plus 5 is going to be 54. Okay, so now we have to worry about how many digits are to the right of the decimal. That is 4 digits. So I'm going to move that decimal that's hidden 4 spaces over. So what I get is 54 cents. Okay. 54 cents. That is how much she spent on, or that's how much the sales tax amount is. Okay. So my final answer, and here guys, you can write 54 cents on this paper. If you wrote 55 cents, that's okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 4. Determine the constant of proportionality. You have the formula written already here, okay? All you have to do is make a table, X, Y, and pick 2 points. I'm going to pick this first one, and I'm going to pick this one over here. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to pick 2 points, okay? So here, remember, this is X, this is Y. That'd be 2, because we always go with the X first. 1. This one over here is going to be 14. And 7. Now, the reason why I put it like this into a table is for you to be able to see, okay? I'm looking at Y. Y is going to be the highlighted side, okay? So, if I'm doing Y equals, if I'm doing K equals Y divided by X, then that means I'm going to put 1 over 2, okay? Let's try one more number. Let's try the next point that I see, the next coordinates. 7 divided by 14. So here, if I take this fraction and I divide the top and the bottom by 7, 7 divided by 7 is going to be 1. 14 divided by 7 is going to be 2. They're the same. So that means that my K is going to be 1/2. This is my final answer. Okay, so here, final answer, K equals 1/2. All right, let's go to the next question. Kelly bought 12 1/4 pounds of crawfish for her birthday party. If everyone ate 5 2/5 pounds of crawfish, how much crawfish did she have left? So there's 2 ways that we can solve this, guys. The first way is very long, but let's try it. Let's go for it. I'm going to do it over here on the side. So 12 1/4 minus 5 2/5. Okay. If I'm looking at my fractions, I see that I don't have common denominators. I have to make some common denominators. And the common denominator that I see is 20. So I'm going to have to multiply the top and the bottom to make 20. So 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. So what happens is I'm going to now get 12 5/20 minus 5 8/20. But here's the thing now. If I'm looking at this, I still cannot subtract my numerators because they are the top number is smaller. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. What we're going to do now, I'm going to do this in black, okay, is I am going to borrow from the 12. I'm going to make that an 11, and I'm going to add 20/20. Because remember, this 20/20 turns into a 1, which if I put it back over here makes that a 12 again, okay? So here's what happens. We have now 11, and if we add 20 plus 5, that's going to be 25. Remember, the denominators do not get added. They stay the same. Now I can do 5 8/20 over here. So here, I can now take 25 minus 8. That now works, okay? So here, let's go ahead and finish it. 11 minus 5 is going to be 6. I know that my denominator is going to be 20. I just have to take 25 minus 8, and that is going to be 17. And I'm done, okay? Now, let's pretend that I decide that I'm going to do a decimal, okay? All I have to do is do 17 divided by 20, and that's going to give me 6.85, okay? All right, let me show you the other way. The other way, I tend to find a lot easier and a lot better to work with, okay? So what I want to do is I want to convert 1/4 to a decimal. And I know that 1/4 is 25 cents, so I'm going to put 12.25, okay? And then the other number is 5 2/5. But here, I'm going to have to take 2 and divide it by 5, add a decimal and a 0. 5 can go into 24 times. Let's bring up that decimal. I now have 0.4. So my other number that I'm working with is going to be 5 and 40, okay? I'm going to subtract this now, okay? So here, 5 here, can't do 2 minus 4, so I'm going to have to borrow. Now 12 minus 4 is going to be 8. And then 11 minus 5 is going to be 6. And my decimal goes right here. Okay. If you look, my answer here and my answer here are the same. Okay. So it works both ways. Now, if your test or if the STAR test or whatever has fractions instead, and you have multiple that have like the whole number being 6, I would actually turn that decimal into a fraction. And the way that you can do that is by, really, you can eliminate, because sometimes they won't give you more than one answer that could be the answer, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. The final answer is going to be 6.85. Let me move this up a little bit. Actually, let me make it smaller. Okay, or 6 and 17/20. Okay. All right, so here let's move on. Let's go to number 6. So this is similar figures, okay? And with similar figures, you want to do a proportion, okay? I like to look first at where the x is, okay? I'm going to find the x, and I'm going to put that down. So I'm going to put x over. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can decide to either go with the other number that's on the same figure, or you can say, okay, x corresponds to 1.8, okay? I'm going to go ahead and correspond it to 1.8, so x over 1.8. Now I'm going to go back to the small figure, and I'm going to look at what's left. What can I use still? That would be 3.0. So I'm going to put 3.0 here. And then I'm going to look and see at what corresponds to 3.0, which would be 8.0. Now we're going to cross multiply. 8.0x is equal to 1.8 times 3.0, 0, 0, 0, 3.8. 3 times 8 is going to be 24. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. There's 2 digits behind, so that would be 5.4. Okay. All right. Now here, let's write this over here. I'm going to divide by 8.0. So I get x is equal to something. Let's go ahead and divide 5.4 divided by 8.0. I know that 80 cannot go into 54, so I'm going to have to add a 0 to make 540. Now, 80, let's say, times 3 will give me 240. Let's see if we can go higher. 8 times 5 is 400. 80 times 6 is 480. 80 times 7 is 560. So it has to be 8t times 6, which is going to be 480. Now 540 minus 480 is going to be 60. Add another 0, okay? And here, 80 times 7 is going to be 560. Okay, and then here, let's subtract that. 5 here, 10 minus 6 is 4, and here we go. We now have 0. So I know that 80 times 5 is going to be 400. So here, I have a decimal right here. Sorry, I think I wrote the wrong number. This is supposed to be 7. There we go. And the decimal goes right here. So my answer becomes this 0.675. Okay, so I'm going to write that answer here. That's my final answer. Okay, let's look at number 7. The scale on a map is 2 centimeters equals 20 kilometers. What is the distance between two cities that are 5.5 meters apart? So here, let's do a tic-tac proportion method. Okay, we're comparing centimeters and kilometers. Is 2 centimeters equals 20 kilometers. The cities are 5.5 centimeters apart. We don't know how many kilometers that would be. Okay, let's go ahead and cross multiply. 2x is equal to 20 times 5.5. 0, 10, 0, 0, 10. This would be 110. Then we're going to divide by 2. 2 can go into 11 5 times. That would be 10. And again into that 5 times. So it would be 55. So here it is 55 kilometers. Okay, I forgot to write meters up there on that one. And here, let's go to the next page. Pause if you need to. Okay. Okay, friends, so we're on to the next page now. Again, if you want to pause and then come back and see if you got the right answer. A company spends $80 to set up their printer. The company charges $10 per shirt. We'll write in inequality. So these are not hard at all. You just have to remember that you have to write out your inequality as y equals mx plus b. Okay, and you also have to remember that M is going to be found by looking for the keywords per, every, each. Okay, if you see any of those words, you have found your M or your slope. Okay, so let's continue reading. So here it says that it's wanting us to write an inequality that best represents the number of t-shirts the company needs to sell to pay for setup costs and earn a profit of at least $200. Okay, that means it can be equal to or greater than $200. So now let's take a look. $80, that looks like that is the let's say B, the constant, excuse me. And then let's look at $10 per shirt. I see per. That tells me that this is going to be your co or your M. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. Y equals mx plus b. Not y equals mx plus b. We are doing inequalities, right? So this has to be greater than or equal to. Let's write it this way. mx plus b has to be greater than or equal to 200. Okay, so now I just have to fill in M and B. Okay, I know that B is 80, so that is going to go here. Okay, and I also know that per shirt is with $10, so 10 is my M. And here we go. Okay, so let's look at the one that matches that. I see here this is saying 200x. That's going to be wrong. This is 2x plus 200. That's wrong because it has to be at least 200. This one says 10x minus 80. Okay, so something that I missed was the spins. Okay, if I'm looking at it, when we're spending, this is going to be a negative, so this has to be minus 80. Okay, so 10x minus 80, 10x minus 80. So both of these have the same thing. Now what we're looking at is this part right here. Which one is correct? And specifically the symbol. Okay, and I see that this one matches exactly what we wrote. So it is going to be C. In other words, it is going to be 10x minus 80 is greater than or equal to 200. Because remember, at least means it can be equal to or higher than 200. Okay, so let's go to number 9. Write an equation for the table. Okay, so on this one, we want to use this right here. Okay, but we need two things. We need the M and we need the B. Okay, so let's go ahead and look for the B first. The y-intercept, which is the B, is the easiest one to find. So we're going to go down to where 0 is, and I'm going to circle the y. So here, B, or the y-intercept, is going to be 6. Okay, now all I have to do is find the M, and I can find M by doing change in y over change in x. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that over here. To find change in x, to find change in y, excuse me, we're going to do our little carets. And those little carets, what we're doing is we're taking 14 and 6 and we're subtracting them, or we're just finding the pattern. Like, how many did we have to go either up or down to get to that second number? So from 14 to 6, we actually went down 8. Okay, and then from negative 2 to 0, we actually went down 2. So that would be negative 2. So going back over here, change in y is going to be negative 8. I'm going to write my change in y over change in x, negative 8. The change in x is negative 2. Okay, now I'm going to have to simplify this by dividing by 2 on both. If I do negative 8 divided by negative 2, I'm going to get, if I do negative 8 divided by 2, I'm going to get negative 2. If I do negative 2 divided by positive 2, I'm going to get negative 1. And in the end, what I'm going to get is positive 2. So here you can also check this by just dividing. Negative 8 divided by negative 2, that gives you wrong answer. This is supposed to be 4. There we go. My bad, y'all. All right, so positive 4 is going to be the correct answer, which means that M is 4, okay? Let me rewrite that differently. To find M, we do change in y over change in x, okay? So that means that we've got all of our pieces. If I write y equals mx plus b, it's going to be y equals 4x plus 6. This is my final answer. Okay. Let's go to number 10. So you see these two coupons in a newspaper. The first coupon gives you $30 off. The second coupon gives you 20% off. So coupon 1, coupon 2. Let's do it like this. Let's split it. Okay. Coupon 1 is here. Let's go ahead and find out what the original price is. It's going to be $250. So what we are doing is 250 minus 30. That is going to be $220. okay, with $30 off. Now let's take a look at option number 2. It says 20% off. So we have to take $250, and what we're gonna have to do is multiply it by the percent, the decimal, not the percent. So 1, 2, that would be 0.20. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. Move that digit 2 spaces to that decimal 2 spaces to the left, so we get $50 off. So here, what we're going to do is 250 minus $50. That is going to be $200. Okay. So if we're looking at this, which one is the better deal? After taking off whatever percent or amount off, which one was cheaper, I can see that option 2 is cheaper. So my final answer is going to be coupon 2, because you pay $200. Okay, so here, let's go to number 11. Find the constant of proportionality. So here, all we're doing is doing y divided by x to find constant of proportionality. So 63 divided by 9, which is going to be 7. We can try one more. Let's try 77 divided by 11. That is going to be 7. So my final answer is K equals 7. Let's go to number 12. Jackson bought a video game for $10 and sold it for $15. What is the percent increase? Ooh, I love these. So remember, we do N minus O, which is new minus original, divided by original. Okay, so the new, let's label, this is the OG, this is the new. Okay, so here we're going to rewrite it as 15 minus 10 divided by 10. 15 minus 10 is going to be 5. That means we're going to have to do 5 divided by 10. 10 cannot fit into 5, so I'm going to have to add a decimal and a 0. 10 can go into 55 times, which means that decimal goes up. Now what I get is 5/10, but remember, we need a percent. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to move that decimal 2 spaces over and add a 0. So my final answer is going to be 50%. So 50% increase. Okay. All right, let's do number 13. Pause if you need to. Solve and graph the inequality. So here, I'm going to subtract 40 on both sides. 86 minus 40 is going to be 46. I'm going to bring this down and the negative 2x, and then I'm going to divide by negative 2x. I'm going to rewrite my final answer over here to the side. Okay, remember when you divide by a negative coefficient, like here we divided by negative 2. Negative 2 is the coefficient. What we're going to do is we're going to switch that, we're going to flip that inequality symbol. And then we're just going to find our answer, 46 divided by negative 2, okay? 2 can go into 4 2 times. And 2 can go into 6 3 times. So what we get is negative 23. This is our final answer, but we still have to graph it, okay? On the Chromebook, when you take your final, or on the STAR test, when you take your final, you're going to have to choose between closed or open and which way you're going to shade. Okay, when you click the correct one, it's going to go directly on 0. Okay, let's pretend 0 is here. Let's pretend negative 23 is right here and positive 23 is here. it's going to automatically place your answer, your choice that you picked, right smack in the middle. And let's just pretend, if we look at this one, it's pointing towards the left. What you would have is something that's going like this. You're going to have to slide that dot, that circle, to the correct spot, okay? Now, let's go ahead and place ours. It's going to be a closed circle at -23, and we are going to shade to the left, okay? All right, so here I'm just going to write x is less than or equal to -23, and this way, okay? All right, let's do number 14. Okay, number 14 says 9 1/2 minus 3 3/4. Now remember, there's two ways to do it. You could totally do it this way, okay, or you do it like this, and you find your common denominator. So basically what this turns into would be 9 2/4, and this would be minus 3 3/4. But the problem is that you cannot subtract 2 minus 3, so you're going to have to borrow, and then you would have to do plus 4/4. So this turns into 8 4 5 6/4 minus 3 3/4. Now you can do this subtraction. So 8 minus 3 would be 5. For denominator, we have 4, that stays the same. 6 minus 3 would be 3. So this is what we would get, 5 3/4. Or, remember, you can do it to where you just use the decimals. You're going to change those fractions to decimals. So 1/2 would be 0.25. 3/4 would be 0.75. So 9.25 minus 3.75. 5 minus 5 is 0. 12 minus 7 is going to be 5. 8 minus 3 is going to be... Hold on. What? That's right. Okay, so why did I put 25 here? Because that is not 25. That is 50. Hello. 9.50. There we go. I'm getting kind of tired, guys. 3.75. Okay. And then here, we're going to have to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 7 can't do. We have to borrow. 14 minus 7 is 7. 8 minus 3 is 5. There we go. That's correct. So here, our answer is still 575. And if we look over here, we know that this can be changed to 0.75. Okay. So your answer is going to be 5 3/4 or 5.75. All right, pause if you need to. I'm going to go to the next page. All right. Abby's mom went to a wholesale store. She bought 2 pounds of chips for Abby's lunch. If Abby's mom distributes the chips into baggies that hold 1/4 pound, how many baggies will her mom be able to fill? So she bought 2 pounds of chips for Abby's lunch. If Abby's mom distributes the chips into baggies, so distributing means we are going to be splitting it up, okay? So we're going to, what we want to find out is how many baggies we will be filling, okay? The baggies hold 1/4 pound. So what we have to do is we have to do 2 divided by 1/4, okay? So now remember, this is what we can do. We can change this to be 2 over 1, okay? And that division has to change to multiplication, and then the 1/4 becomes 4 over 1. So what we get is 2 times 4, which is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Basically what we have is 8. So she can actually fill 8 baggies. Okay, cool. Caitlin paid for 5 pallets of grass to be delivered. Each pallet of grass costs $1.29 $95. Caitlin paid $76.20 in delivery fee. What is the total amount that Caitlin paid? This is pretty easy and simple, right? So if each pallet costs $129.95 and she bought 5, all you're doing is $129.95 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 2 is 47. 45, 49. And then 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So what she pays is $649.75 for just the pallets. She still has to pay the delivery fee. So let's add that to our subtotal. $649.75 plus 76.20. 5 here, 7, 8, 9, 15, 12, 7. So what she ends up paying is $725.95 total. Okay. All right, let's look at 17. The scale on a map is 1 centimeter equals 15 kilometers. What is the distance between two cities that are 6.5 centimeters apart? Okay, so let's do this. Okay, we're going to be comparing centimeters to kilometers. Okay, 1 centimeter equals 15 kilometers. And then we have 6.5 centimeters here. So 6.5 centimeters here, x goes here. So that would be x is equal to, and all we're multiplying is 15 times 6.5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5, 6, 7, 30. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9. And here, we're going to add that. I ran out of space. This. There's one digit here, so that would be 97.5. Okay, which is going to be C. All right, let's go to number 18. Which equation represents the relationship between x and y values in the table? So here is where we want to do y equals mx plus b. Okay, we want to find where x equals 0, and we're going to circle that y value, which is 12. That's our b, or the y-intercept. Okay, now here is where we are trying to find change in y over change in x for the m. Okay, and we do that by looking at the differences here. So if we do 33 minus 12, that is going to be 21. And then 0 to 3, that is plus 3. So here, what we have is going to be, let's do this over here, change in y over change in x. Okay, that is going to be 21. Because remember, change in y is 21, change in x is positive 3. We're going to write 21 over 3. And we can actually divide that. That would be 7. Okay, so that means that 7 is our m. Now let's go ahead and write that as in our formula. Y equals 7x plus 12. Okay, so what we get, our final answer, is going to be y equals 7x plus 12. And that is B. Okay, let's look at 19. Jen makes necklaces by stringing different color beads together. Each necklace is 18 inches long. If Jen has an 86-inch beaded string, how many necklaces can she make? All you're doing here is thinking, okay, she has this long beaded string. She wants to make necklaces with it. And she knows that each necklace needs 18 inches long of this beaded string. So she's going to have to divide 86 by 18. Okay, if we look at this 18, sorry guys. Okay, so I know that 18 times 5 is going to be 90. So I'm going to do 18 times 4. That is going to give me 72. 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus 7 is 1. Add a decimal and a 0. Now 18 can go into 140. Maybe 7 times. It gives me 126. Let's try 8. That would be 144. That's too big. So 8 times 7 would be the better choice. Oh, here let's subtract 140 minus 126. That is going to be 14, excuse me. Bring down another 0, but I'm already seeing there that that's going to be a repeating decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to bring up that decimal. And here, let's talk about how many can she actually make. If she goes to make that 4th one and then she tries to make a 5th one, is she going to have enough beaded string? She's not. She's not going to be able to finish that 5th one. So in reality, she can only make 4 necklaces. Okay, so here, this would be 4 necklaces. Okay, let's go to the next page. Pause if you need to. Okay, so here, let's choose the correct equation to match the graph. You guys, this is not hard, okay? The first thing that I want you to do when you're doing or when you're trying to write an equation from graphs, I want you to look at the y-intercept, the y-axis, and look at what number is that dot on. That dot is on number on the -4 on the y-axis. That is your b or your y-intercept. Okay, now remember, y equals mx plus b. B is this last number. So if I look at this one gives me -4, but this one is -2, this one is -2, this one is -4. I can cross these two off just with the y-intercept alone. Okay, now let's go back, and what we're going to do is we are going to build a table. Okay, I already know that my first point is going to be 0, -4, because if I'm here, my x-axis is going to be at 0, but my y-intercept is at -4. So here, 0, -4, and I can pick this point over here too. That is going to be at -4, +4. Now remember, what we like to do here is change in y over change in x. Between -4 to +4, that is going to be 8. Now remember, if you can't do this in your head, you can always look here. Okay, we're going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It went up 8, so that would be +8. But here it's going from 0 to -4, so it went down -4. So that means that this is going to be 8 divided by -4, which is going to give me -2, okay? So here, I'm going to rewrite my equation. That is going to be y equals -2x. I'm going to erase this here. -4, okay? And the only one that gives me the same thing as this is going to be D. Okay, again, y equals -2x minus 4. Okay, let's go to number 21. So 4 croissants cost $2.60. How much will it cost to purchase for 7 croissants? Okay, you can do this a couple of ways, okay? This would probably be like a proportion. Number of croissants, cost of money. I know that 4 croissants is $2.60. I want to know how much money 7 croissants is going to cost. So here, cross multiply, 4x is equal to 7 times 2.60. 6 times 7 is going to be 42. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 4 is 18. So this is 18 and 20. So now we're going to divide by 4. I know that 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. And again, 4 times 5 is 20. So we're going to bring the decimal up. So that means that this is $4.55, which is going to be B. $4.55 for 7, okay, or in other words, B. Okay, let's go to number 22, okay, solve the value of H. All you have to do here, you have to understand that triangles, angles equal 180 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 49 plus 82 plus 3h plus 1 equals 180. Now here, I'm going to add my like terms. Now remember, like terms are going to be these that look exactly the same. If it does not have an h, it's not going to match up with 3h. Okay, but 49, 82, and 1 all do not have an h, so they are all like terms. So let's add those up. 49, 82, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, plus 1 would be 132. So 132 plus 3h is equal to 180. Now, I'm trying to get 3h by itself, so I first have to remove this one by doing the opposite, which is going to be negative 132. Okay, so 3h is equal to 180 minus 132. 10 minus 2 is going to be 8. 7 minus 3 is going to be 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So that would be 48. So now I'm going to divide by 3. So that means that what I'm going to get at the end, once I divide, let's do that. 3 can go into 4 one time. And 3 can go into 18 6 times. So that is going to be 16. So that means h is 16. And it's only asking me for the value of h. So here, h is equal to 16. All right, perfect. So let's go on to number 23. Which table represents the same linear relationship as the equation y equals 3x plus 5? So let's do something here. I'm going to set up, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. I think that the easier way would be to set up a table. Okay. X, y. I know that my y-intercept is 5, which means that it's going to be 0, positive 5. I also know that this is my slope. And I also know that I can find slope, or m, by doing change in y over change in x, which tells me that I also know that my change in, if I put this over 1, that would be 3 over 1. Okay, so here, if I do plus 3, that would be 5, 6, 7, 8 here. And if I do plus 1 over here, that is going to be 1. Okay, let's do a couple more. So 8 plus 3, that would be 11. Plus 1, that would be 2. Okay, let's do 2 more. Okay, so plus 3, that would actually be 14. Plus 1, that would be 3. Plus 3 would be 17. Plus 1 would be 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop there. Now let's look at these. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross off as I go. So it cannot be A because it's 0, 0. Can't be that. Okay, none of the other ones have x equals 0. So we're going to have to like not look at 0, 5, or here, let's look at 1. So if I look at B, I don't start with 1, I start with 2 for x, but on our table we have 11, so it can't be this one. Okay, now let's look at C. At 2, we have 11. That is correct. And let's look at the next ordered pair. We have 3, 14, and then we have 4, 17. So this one turned out to be right. If I look at D, just in case, we have 2 for x and 15 for y, which is not what we have over here. So this is wrong. So it'd have to be C. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next page. Okay, so here Antonia operates a bicycle rental company. She charges a $12 fee plus $3 per hour. Okay, $12 fee. That's a one-time fee. That is your constant or your B. Okay, and then $3 per hour. That right there, because it says per hour, is going to be your coefficient or your M. Okay, so now let's put this into a equation. Okay, I know that I'm going to have y equals 3x plus 12. Which one matches that? This one does not, because it has 12x. Neither does this one. This one does, but it's a negative instead of a positive. Can't be that one. It's going to be D. Okay, so y equals 3x plus 12, or D. Okay, let's look at number 25. Which number line represents the solution to the final inequality for x plus 20 is less than 40? Excuse me. Let's solve. Okay. Minus 20, 40 minus 20 is going to be, 20. Is less than 4x. So 4x is less than 20. I'm going to divide by 4. X is less than 5. All right, this is an open circle. All of our answer choices have open circles. But here, which way am I going to shade? I know it's going to be open, and it's going to be going to the left. Okay, so it cannot be C. It has 2 open. Okay, can't have that. This one also has 2 open. Can't have that. Okay, so the only one that I can see, if I look here, this is in the positives, so that cannot be it either. It has to be B. Okay, so our answer for this one is going to be x is less than 5, and it's going to be open at 5, going to the left. Okay, let's go ahead and, I'm sorry. What just happened? I made a mistake on that part. I'm getting really tired and not paying attention to what I'm doing. This is in the negatives. Wrong. It has to be A. There we go. Okay, let's look at 26. Which equation represents the data shown in the table below? So let's take a look at this again. We can always, what I would do, because you have the table, is I would make my equation. I need my M and I need the B. Okay, I don't have a b yet, so I'm going to have to start off with the slope. Okay, remember to find slope, we do change in y over change in x. Between 5 to 10, here is x, by the way. Please pay attention to that, guys. X is right here, okay? All right, so between these two, we're going from 2 to 4, we're going to add 2. From 5 to 10, we're going to add 5. 10 to 15, we're going to add 5. 15 to 20, we're going to add 5. 4 to 6, we're going to add 2. 6 to 8, we're going to add 2. So let's put this together, okay? So change in y is going to be 5. Change in x is going to be 2. Okay, so 5 halves would be what we have. If we were to divide that, 2 can go into 50, 2 can go into 5 just 2 times, that would be 4. Add a decimal and a 0, 2 can go into 10 5 times, that would be 2.5. Okay, so in other words, what you could have done is y divided by x, right? Okay, cool. Let's move on. So here, there's 2 options I can go ahead and eliminate, a and b, because they do not have my m as 2.5. Let me move this over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and find the b. So if I have to go the other way, if I have to find my y-intercept, I have to go the opposite way, which is going to be this way. So minus 2, that is going to give me 0. And then 5 minus 5 is going to give me 0, okay? So basically what I have is this. So the only answer, if I put this in y equals mx plus b, I'm going to have y equals 2.5x plus 0. In other words, what we have is y equals 2.5x. Cannot be d, it has to be c. So y equals 2.5x, which is C. All right, let's look at number 27. So using the figure below, determine the length of the line segment FG. So we're looking for FG, okay? Let's set up a proportion. I'm going to start with FG. I'm going to put that, and I'm going to find the corresponding side on the other figure, which is going to be 3. Now, going back to the big one, I'm going to pick another number that I can use. I'm going to use this one. Okay, so here, let me do this in a different color. 12. Now, I have to find the corresponding side over here on the small one. That is going to be 4. Okay, so here, we're going to cross multiply 4x and then 12 times 3, which is going to be 36. Let's divide that by 4. I know that that is going to be 9. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and move on to the next page. Pause if you need to. We're almost done, guys. Let's see, how many more pages do we have? That's it. Okay. So here, let's go to number 28. Using the graph, find the constant of proportionality. Remember, constant of proportionality is going to be k equals y divided by x. That means I can pick a point. So this one here, let's do 10 divided by 100. Now, these are not the best, so let's just talk about this real quick. Let's pretend that this one is going through a little bit higher, okay? Just so that it's going to be correct. Okay, so let's pick 10, because remember this is x and this is y. So we have to do 100 divided by 10, which is going to be 10. Okay, so now let's do another one. Let's do 200 divided by 20. Okay, and if we do that, that is going to be 10. We can see we're getting the correct answer each time, so that is correct. So here, k is equal to 10. All right, let's go to number 29. The model represents an equation. Solve for the value of x. So what we first have to do is write an equation. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 5x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is equal to 1. Okay? Now, all of these are positives because none of them are shaded. Okay? So here, let's do minus 6, 5x is equal to negative 5. 6 minus 1 is 5, but it's a negative because 6 is bigger. Divide by 5. X is going to be equal to negative 1. Okay, that's our final answer. Let's go to number 30. Cole buys a pair of jeans from the mall. The jeans cost $42, but he has a 15% off coupon. Fun. I love these. So here, 42. This is a percent off, but I need to change it to a decimal, so that is going to be 0.15. Remember, when multiplying with decimals, you do not have to line up the decimal. You line up the last digit. So writing it as 42 whole number times 0.15 is fine. So 5 times 2 is 10, 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21, 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4. So we have 630, but we have, I'm erasing things. Okay, we have, oh my goodness. We have 2 digits to the right of the decimal, so that would be 1, 2. That means that this discount is going to be $6.30 off the original price. So we're going to take $42. Now we have to add a decimal and a 0 to be able to subtract $6.30. So here, oops, 10 minus 3 is going to be 7. Got to borrow from this one. 11 minus 6 is going to be 5. That is going to be $35.70. Okay? That he is going to pay after his discount. Okay? Now, the reason why I found the total price that he was going to pay after the discount was because it said how much will he pay after his discount. So here, my answer is going to be $35.70. Okay. All right, let's go to number 31. Here, all we're doing is solving. So here, minus 40, we get negative 8x is greater than. I have a negative 16 and a negative 40, so we are going to actually add them. And what we get is negative 56. Now we're going to divide by a negative 8. And what we get is a positive 7. However, because we divided by a negative coefficient, that symbol is going to change. It's going to flip, and we're going to have a positive 7. So here we have x is less than 7. All right, let's look at number 32. William has taken his family to dinner. The subtotal of the meal was $120. If their tax rate is 9%, how much will William pay in tax? Okay, subtotal is 120. Tax rate is 9%. How much will William pay in tax? This one is not asking for his total amount. It's only asking for tax amount. So we're going to take 120 times. This is going to move to 0.09. 2 times 9 is 18. 9, 10. The rest of them are zeros. So here I have 2 digits behind the decimal, 1, 2. That means he paid $10.80 in tax. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we're going to go to the next page. Okay, 33. Based on the information, what is Philip's net worth? Ooh, we just learned this, didn't we? So here, let's add up. It's already added it for us. Look, right here. All we're going to do is take 113,000 minus 71,500. Borrow here. 10 minus 5 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. 11 minus 7 is 4. So Philip's net worth is equal to 41,500. Done. All right, let's go ahead and move on to number 34. Amanda increased the amount of protein she eats from 40 grams to 52 grams. By what percentage did she increase? So this is a C to the OG. So here, 40 is going to be the OG. This is going to be the new. So what we're doing is N minus O. Oops. You know what? Let me write it like this. N minus O, new minus original divided by original. So 52 minus 40 divided by 40. Let's do 52 minus 40. 2 minus 0 is 2. 5 minus 4 is 1. That would be 12 divided by 40. Now I just have to do 12 divided by 40. I have to add a decimal and a 0. So here 4 can go, let's see, 3 times into 120. So that means that we get 3. But this is a decimal, okay? We have to change it. It's a whole number. But we have to move the decimal that's hiding. There's a decimal hiding because this is a whole number. And we have to go 2 spaces over. So what we get is 300%. Okay. Let's check that again because just in case I might have done something wrong, I'm getting sleepy. Oh, it would have been 30%. There we go, because there's a decimal right there. Okay, see, little things, okay? What happens when you're sleepy is you do little mistakes. 1, 2. So 30%. There we go. And this is going to be a 30% increase. Okay. The following angles are complementary. What does complementary mean? It's going to be a 90-degree angle. Also, you know that because guess what? This is a right angle, and right angles are 90 degrees. So we're going to add 46 plus 5x minus 1 is equal to 90. Okay, 46 and negative 1 are like terms because neither one of them have the x. So 46 minus 1 is really going to be 45 plus 5x is equal to 90. Okay, we're going to subtract 45. Subtract 45. 5x is going to equal to 45. If you cannot tell yet, I am exhausted. Let's divide by 5. I'm trying to keep myself awake here. 45 divided by 5 is going to be 9. Okay, so x is equal to 9. That is x. All right, let's look at number 36. At a concession stand, 9 hot dogs cost $9.54. What is the cost of 1 hot dog? Ooh, guess what is this? This is going to be the unit divided by, I'm trying to think what it was because this was in unit 5. Anyways, what we're doing is, yeah, it's going to be the money divided by the unit, I believe. This is unit price. Okay, so what we're doing is we're taking $9.54 and we're dividing it by 9 because we're wanting to find out how much 1 hot dog cost. So here, let's go ahead and do that math. $9.54 divided by 9. 9 can fit into 9 one time. So that'd be 9. 0 here. It cannot go into 5, so that'd be 0. But can it go into 54? Yes, about 6 times, right? 9 times 6 is 54. So here, bring up that decimal. My answer is going to be $1.06. Okay, per hot dog. So let's write that answer over here. $1.06 per hot dog. Per hot dog. Okay, Colin is purchasing 4 pounds of meat that cost $3.20 per pound. How much change should Colin receive if he gives the cashier a $20 bill? So this is just simple question math, okay? All right, so 4 pounds of meat cost $3.20 per pound. So what we're having to do first is $3.20 times 4. 0, 2 times 4 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12. He's paying a total of $12.80. Like, that's a subtotal, right? Now, he's given a $20 bill, so we're going to have to subtract to see how much he's going to be given back. 0 here. We're going to have to borrow. 10 minus 8 is going to be 2. 9 minus 2 is going to be 7. 1 minus 1 is 0. So that means that he is going to receive, in change back, he is going to receive $7.20 in change. Okay. So here, let's move on to the next question. The following angles are supplementary. What does it mean if they are supplementary? They equal 180. Remember, a line is 180. So here, we're going to do 5x minus 25 plus 55 is equal to 180. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms. 25 and 55 are like terms because neither one of these two have the x with them. So we're going to do 55 minus 25. 5 minus 5 is 0. 5 minus 2 is 3. That is 30. So 5x plus 30 is equal to 180. Now I'm going to subtract 30 from the left side and from the right side. Cross it out. 5x is going to equal 180 minus 30. I know that 8 minus 3 is 5. So that is 150. I'm going to divide by 5. Okay. 150 divided by 5. 5 can go into 15 3 times. That would be 30. Okay. So x is equal to 30 degrees. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the last page. I'm just going to go through it quickly. So here, ooh. Okay, so all of this is information that can help you, okay? So, if you're reading this, you are amazing for using this resource. Okay, another thing, I told you guys that if you watched my video, I would tell you where I went to go eat. If you got to this, I'm going to write it here. I went to go eat at K-Pot. It's a Korean hot pot and barbecue, Korean barbecue grill. So good, you guys. I even got to take a picture with a little bear that sang happy birthday to me. So much fun. And I also got to go to the Conroe parade, Christmas parade. So much fun. Okay, so there. Tell me Monday, if you watched the video, got to the very end, you know exactly where I went to go eat. And I will tell you what I ate. I ate a hot pot, okay? It was a seafood hot pot, okay? Yay! Bye. Love you all. Have a good rest of the day. I hope y'all do amazing on this final exam. This video is long, but I hope it helps you.